This video will give you the basics of creating and sharing a document with your teacher or with somebody else that's at Monica's College. Once you're in My Drive or your Google Drive, you should have your different folders for each of your subjects, and perhaps you've created a personal folder. Now, anything that you have outside of this folder is not officially shared with your teacher, though really the teacher can see this if they need to. The easiest way to share an assignment with your teacher is to place it in the folder of your class. So this is clearly an English assignment and I want to put it in my English folder. All I have to do is left click, a single click, that selects it, and then another left click and hold on to it, and I can drag it into my English folder. By doing that, I am sharing this file. This is the easiest way to turn in work or share work with your teacher so your teacher can easily see it. I say OK to this. I now have a nice clean drive, and I also have my work in my English folder, nice and organized. To save that step, if you know that you're going to be working on an English assignment, or in this case let's make it a music assignment, I'll just go straight into the music folder and I will create a new Google Doc in the folder. Either way, your teacher will be able to see it. This time I get the warning when I create it to make sure I know that it will be seen by my teacher. So when you create a new document, the first thing you should do is give that document a title so that you can find it easily. So this one I'm going to call Instruments of the Orchestra, which is a lot of fun. Okay, this is the name of the document, and eventually this will catch up and it will show that my document Instruments of the Orchestra is in my 7Musee folder. I don't need to drag it anywhere. It will appear in this folder and my teacher will be able to see it. I'll just remind you that that little tab means that it's shared with somebody because I put it in that folder. My Instruments of the Orchestra document is a lot like a Word document. You can do lots of things with it like you can in Word. You can change the font that you're using, and you can add more fonts if you want to be creative. Font size, bold, italics, and underline. You can change the font color, and pretty much anything you can do in Word. So unless your teacher has sent you a template, you want to create a document along the lines that they're asking, and it's important to think about what your document looks like too. So I'm going to make this Instruments of the Orchestra instead of normal text, make it a title, and I might even underline it for good measure. Now everything that I write in here, and you can see I'm writing just riveting text, is going to be saved automatically. As I'm typing it, Google is trying to save it. It's working on it, it's having a great time. When I eventually stop typing, it's going to tell me that all the changes I've saved in my drive, I don't have to save anymore. So once it says that, which is essentially instant, I can close out of that. And if I go back and find Instruments of the Orchestra again, it has saved. So I'm in good shape. If I want to be sure that I've saved this with the right people, all I have to do is look in the drive. If I want my music teacher to see this, I just have my 7Music folder, which I'll remind you will say Hapara Teacher Dashboard or words to that effect. And if it's in there, my teacher can easily see it, which it is. If I wanted to then share this with another student, with a specific person, nobody else can see this in this folder except my teacher and I. But say this is a collaborative effort. There's a couple ways I can do it, but the easiest way to do it is inside the document, I'm going to go to File and Share. I can choose who I want to share this with. So it's already shared with my teacher, which is odd because that's me, but you can choose to share it with another student or another teacher. And all you have to do is start typing their email address in here, and if it were a real email address, it would come up, oops, and you wouldn't have to type all this, but there it is. And I have to think about now, do I want my fellow student to be able to edit it, which is useful if you're collaborating? Do I want my fellow student to just be able to comment on what I've written? Or do I want them to be able to view it? And it's nice if you add a little note. And this will appear in their email. Okay? And then you send them that. And that's it. And once you've done that, if this were a real email address, then you've got a document that is shared with them. If ever you're unsure of with whom your document is shared, you do the same thing, File, Share, and look underneath here, and you can see that it's shared with this person, Chris Burson. If you want to get into the real nitty-gritty, go down to Advanced and see just what Chris Burson is able to do. This is very odd because I'm me and I'm me. You are the owner of your own document, but your teacher can edit that document as well. And that's how it's going to be. Anybody else you add, you can change what their editing permissions are. And that's the basics of how to share things in your Google Drive.